All right, I believe we are officially live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Today we're going to be talking about can anxiety be your friend? Can that help you heal? We're going to talk about it. Let's see. Make sure I send out my notifications first and foremost. There we go. All right. We'll see who gets first in chat today. It's going to be Crystal. What's up, Crystal? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. We got PJ right behind her. What's up, PJ? Sky coming in. What's up, Sky? Hello, guys. Welcome. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So this is one of those accepting inner voices, right? One of those accepting inner voice streams. This stream is all about the mentality behind anxiety. One of our two main keys, no longer fighting mentally with your thoughts and feelings. That's what this stream is going to be centered around, basically. This is one of many different accepting perspectives that you can adopt when it comes to anxiety. So that is what this stream is going to be centered around. I'm not going to wait too long before I jump into it. Yeah, so we'll get started in just a bit. I'm only going to give it a few more seconds to let some people get in here. What's up, Ian? Got tongue-tied. What's up, Jennifer? What's up, Rachel? Thank you for hitting the heart, guys. I appreciate it. How are you doing, Ian? How's your day been? How's your day been, Jennifer? Hope it's been well. Erica, hello, welcome to the stream, Erica. I'll be honest, I do not know how to pronounce your name, but welcome to the stream. Thank you for the purple hearts. I'm sorry, I don't even attempt names that I can't pronounce. I don't want to butcher people's names. Luis, Wonderbro in the house, what is up? I'm here, dude. What's up, Luis? Welcome. Luis in the house, man. What is up, guys? All right, man, let's go ahead and jump into this one, shall we? No sense in waiting too long. So the accepting inner voice, guys, let's go ahead and get this one rolling. The accepting inner voice, one of the two main keys, right? One of the two main keys. Very good. Got married last week. Congrats, Ian. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. The accepting inner voice, one of the two main keys, right? No longer mentally fighting with your thoughts and feelings. Now, this is crucial because we can't even really get into talks about acceptance unless there is a foundation of a better perspective, right? Dr. Claire Weeks says you must eliminate second fear. Second fear is worry, and worry comes down to your perspective, right? The way that you view something is going to have you either worried about it or not so worried about it. So we can't even really get into talks about acceptance and even beginning to heal if there is not a better perspective, right? So I'll say it like this: asking somebody to accept their anxiety and work with their anxiety and try to heal from their anxiety when they have a negative perspective of the anxiety and they haven't been working on that, they haven't been changing that negative perspective, is pointless. It is pointless to ask someone to accept anxiety and to work on their anxiety if they have a very negative perspective of it. You can't even really get into talks about acceptance without a better perspective of anxiety, which is, of course, the accepting inner voice. So this brings me to the point of today's stream, right? Can anxiety be a friend, right? Can you view anxiety in a friendly way? Can this help you heal? Let's talk about it. Now, there's a ton of different perspectives out there. I want you to understand this before we even get into this. I don't want you guys to watch me give you a perspective on anxiety and then you guys turn around and say, well, even though that one doesn't really speak to me, even though that one, and you're not going to find the perfect perspective, keep that in mind, but I don't want you to watch a perspective, me on here on a stream, and say, you know what, even though I don't really like that one, I guess I'll try to roll with that one. I guess I'll try to make that my accepting inner voice. I guess I'll try to, view anxiety this way. I don't want you to do that. I want you to listen to what I have to say with these different examples, and I want you to pick whichever one works best for you. And when I mean works best for you, I mean whichever one resonates with you the most, right? That's what I want you to do. But today we are going to be focused on the on more of the befriending anxiety. Some people prefer the aggressive approach, just belittle it, make it smaller than you. But today it's going to be all about befriending anxiety. So can anxiety be your friend? Well, technically, yes, right? Now, that sounds crazy to a lot of people, especially anyone who's never heard of acceptance before. They're going to hear you say anxiety can be your friend, and immediately they're going to say things like, anxiety's ruined my life. Anxiety continues to ruin my life. Anxiety's scary. How dare you tell me that it can be my friend, right? Well, just hear me out. Anxiety is a false alarm, and yes, it is a very intense false alarm. I'm not taking that away from you. It is a very intense false alarm, but at the end of the day, it has good intentions, right? Anxiety's intentions has never been to ruin your life or to take your life away from you or to make you go crazy or to kill you in some way. Anxiety's intention since day one has been to protect you from some danger that it believes to be real. Now, we know that danger isn't real on a logical level, but anxiety does not know any better, and it really does think it's doing you a favor. So anytime you get those intrusive thoughts or you get those symptoms, anxiety really does believe that it's saving you from some sort of harm, some sort of danger, some sort of threat. So technically, yes, at the end of the day, anxiety can be your friend because that's what it's trying to be. It's trying to be your friend. It's a false alarm. It doesn't know any better. It doesn't know that it's upsetting you. It thinks there's a danger, so it gives you protection through these symptoms, right? So technically, yes, anxiety is your friend. Technically, yes, nobody has, and this will sound off the wall, what I'm about to say, but if you want to be honest, nobody on the face of this planet has cared about you as much as your anxiety cares about you. Now, that's weird, isn't it? That is weird hearing those words because for so long you have viewed anxiety as the monster, as the enemy, and you have told yourself things like, I can't stand it, I don't want it, it's horrible, it's awful, it's a monster, it's ruining my life, please make it stop. And now all of a sudden, you've got some guy telling you that nobody on the face of this earth has ever loved you as much as your anxiety loves you. Nobody on the face of this earth has ever cared about you as much as your anxiety cares about you. It doesn't know that it's upsetting you. It doesn't know that it's giving you a tough time. It thinks you're in danger, so it's trying to help you, period. Now, we can get into talks and we can start to say things, yeah, but Wonder Bro, it's just held me back from so much and blah blah blah. It doesn't know that. Anxiety doesn't set out and say, well, I'm going to upset him or her today because I want to. I want to piss them off. I want to upset them. I want to ruin their day. Anxiety simply says, I think there's a danger because of the way you've been acting, because of the things you've been telling yourself. So I'm going to try to help you out, boss, with some anxiety symptoms. It's just trying to protect you. It can be your friend because that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to be, not only is it trying to just be your friend and help you out, it's trying to save your life, or at least that's what it thinks it's doing, right? So I get it. To go from a perspective of this thing has ruined my life and continues to ruin my life and it's such a monster, to go from that to this thing as a friend is a pretty big jump. I understand. You're going to have to play around with this for a bit. You're going to have to work on it a bit. You're really going to have to practice it. But you must understand this too. The perspective of this thing as a monster, it's ruining my life, and every time you feel those intrusive thoughts or those symptoms, you tell yourself things like that, you're just upsetting your brain even more. You're just telling your anxiety, your friend, that you're in more trouble, and then it tries to help you harder, right? And as it tries to help you harder, you get more angry, you get more upset. And now it's confused, and you're confused, and it's trying to help you, and you're yelling at it, screaming at it, saying, I can't stand you, this is so bad, it's so horrible. And now it doesn't know what the hell's going on, so it's trying to help you even more because it notices that you're getting more upset, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're dealing with a part of your brain, you're dealing with the emotional part of your brain, guys. This is not another human being that you can sit down and have a conversation with and say, hey, I need you to stop doing this because I'm not in real danger. And then all of a sudden the lights go off and everything's fine, right? This is an emotional part of the brain. It's very emotional. It thinks there's a danger. There's not a danger. In order to prove to your brain that there's not a danger, you have to stop being upset over the anxiety, which means in order to be in order to stop being upset over the anxiety, you must change your perspective. If there is no perspective change, then there is no way in hell you'll ever stop being upset over the anxiety. There's no way in hell you'll ever stop being upset over the anxiety if the perspective does not change. Because how could you stop being upset over something if you view it in such a horrible, horrible, horrible way. It's not gonna work for you. It's just not gonna work for you. So what happens is people hear about acceptance, they hear about healing, they hear about recovery, and they think that's great, that's great, that's great. But they go into it with that same awful negative second fear. That's what your perspective comes down to. If you have a second fear perspective, which is a negative perspective, they come into it with that, and now they're trying to use acceptance, but they still have a second fear perspective of the anxiety. It's not gonna work, right? It's just not gonna work. So there's many ways you can change your perspective, and I urge you to get creative with it, to find what resonates with you, to find what you like the most. Some people use humor. Some people are more aggressive and they just belittle it. Hey, I'm not scared of you anymore. Come at me, give me your worst, make the symptoms as bad as you want to make them. It doesn't matter. As long as there is a perspective that is not so fearful, you're making progress. Everybody understand what I'm saying? As long as there's a perspective that is not so fearful, you're making progress. So I urge you to get creative with it and figure out what works for you. I don't mean work as in takes your anxiety away instantly. That happens in time, right, as you heal. I mean work as in what resonates with you the most. So friendship, aggression, just being bigger than the anxiety, humor, just being neutral, chill, laid back, whatever you want your perspective to be, you must find it and you must build it. You cannot accept something that you view as a monster. That is impossible. That is like asking somebody to paint the sky. You cannot accept something. We can't even get into talks about recovery if your perspective is not worked on. Changing your perspective is the most important part of this entire journey. Yes, you should be upliving your positive behaviors. My two main keys: live as if you're already healed. That's going to do the work. That's going to show your brain, hey, there's no real tiger. But if you keep setting yourself off with the negative perspective of anxiety, then nothing else technically matters, because you've got a lot of people out there who say things like, I've been living wonder, bro. I've been living as if I'm already healed, but I'm not making progress. You won't make progress if you have a negative perspective of the anxiety and you are not trying to work on it. Because as you are living and showing your brain that the tiger is not real with your positive behaviors, you're just setting it off more with your negative perspective. So that's why you've got to have two keys and you can't just have one. You've got to live your life, get out of that corner, get off Google, but you also must change your perspective. Okay? You can't have one without the other. It just doesn't work that way. So anytime you notice that you're bothered or worried over your anxiety, whatever your intrusive thoughts are saying, you're fighting with your intrusive thoughts, you're fighting with your symptoms, you catch yourself. I use the term catch a lot. You catch yourself, and that's when you introduce your new accepting inner voice, your positive perspective. That doesn't mean fighting with the content of the thoughts. It just means coming in and saying, hey, let's say you want to take the friendship perspective. You would notice that you're up in your head fighting with your thoughts and feelings. You'd stop mid-sentence and you say, hey, you know what? That's just my upset friend trying to protect me. I don't need protected. You're allowed to be upset. You're giving your anxiety permission to be upset. If you had a friend who was upset, you wouldn't sit down beside that friend and say, stop being upset. Stop being upset. I hate you. I can't stand you. You would try to befriend your friend, and you would say, hey, man, it's okay if you're upset. And that's what you're doing with anxiety when you treat it as a friend, right? That's what you're doing with anxiety when you treat it as a friend. So yes, anxiety can be your friend, and yes, this can help you heal, absolutely. In fact, like I said, if you don't work on changing your negative second fear perspective of anxiety, then there's no point in even talking about recovery and healing, right? There is absolutely zero point in talking about recovery and healing. You can live all you want to live. You can do all the positive behaviors you want to do. And yes, that's a great start. But if you have a very negative second fear perspective of anxiety, you're going to continue to set yourself off every time it is there unnecessarily. And that keeps the cycle going. Right? Now, I'm not saying your new perspective is going to be perfect. I'm not saying you're not going to make mistakes. I'm not saying this is going to be an overnight thing. This is going to take work to build a new perspective. But get creative with it. If you want to use the friendship analogy, use it. Whatever you want to use, as long as you get away from a negative perspective of anxiety, I do not mind. Right? I do not mind. So, guys, yes, anxiety can be your friend. Yes, you can view it as a friend. Yes, you can view it as an overprotective friend. And yes, that can be your accepting inner voice. Okay? But at the end of the day, a change of perspective is needed. If you don't have it, you need to work on it, right? Because if you don't have it, then there's really no sense in talking about things like healing and recovery, okay? Because this is the most crucial, one of the most crucial, if not the top of the list here, things that you need to do in your recovery, okay? Is change that perspective from a second fear perspective to a more realistic or positive, whatever you want to call it, perspective. All right, so that you stop upsetting your brain further. Okay, it's like having a 2-year-old child up there, and if there was a 2-year-old who was scared and came to you for comfort, you would probably not join that 2-year-old in being scared, and that would just freak the kid out even more. And that's what you're doing with your brain when you have a negative second fear perspective. All right, you guys. So yes, anxiety can be your friend, and yes, this absolutely can help you heal. Thank you guys, man, so much for watching the point of today's stream. I really appreciate it. Let's see, we got Kate in here. What's up, Kate? Sonata, what's up? Let's see, Anarchy, what's up, dude? I will read these comments just a second. But yes, thank you guys for being here for the point of the stream. That's all I've got for this one. Yeah, when I face it, I kind of just try to make a joke out of it, and it's been helping now naturally react to it, just laughing kind of when I'm doing exposure. I love it. So you adopted like a humorous perspective, which is not a second fear perspective. It's not an upset perspective. As long as you don't have an upset perspective, you're fine. You can basically roll with whatever you want to roll with. I'm not gonna pick it for you. You know, get creative. You can do whatever you want to do. As long as it is not a negative second fear perspective, it is absolutely okay. Not a problem. Um, what about can you say? What are you trying to tell me? What about can you say what are you trying to tell me? I guess you could, but then you're going to be sitting there kind of like trying to figure out something that you don't need to figure out. It's not trying to tell you anything technically. I've heard that before. I've heard people say that, you know, what are you trying to tell me? We're dealing with sensitization, so it's not really trying to technically tell you anything. It's just upset and it's unregulated and it's misfiring. That's really what's happening here. And I think if you ask yourself the question, what are you trying to tell me? You try to get too deep with it, you're going to be looking for answers where you don't need to look for answers, right? You've already got it. That's just my opinion on that one. How are you doing today, Sky? I hope you're doing fantastic. Trying to listen to Wonder Bros saying and read all the great comments. I just dropped the negativity and worry crap and feel so much of a difference in just a month. I love it, Sonata. You've made great progress. Great progress. Very proud of you. I've had an anxiety disorder since I was a child. I'm 34 now. It takes a lot of mindfulness and work. You can do it if you face your fear. You can do this. We believe in you. Thank you for pumping up the community, Crystal. I appreciate the positivity, guys. Let's try to keep the comments positive. There's a lot of people in here who are either making progress, healed, but there's also a lot of people in here who are just now starting out. So let's try to be supportive. It's easy to forget how bad you felt when you were at the bottom of the barrel with this stuff. So try to keep that in mind. We got Mint in the house. What is up, Mint? Actually in a live stream? Okay, what is up? First live I've been able to catch in months. It feels like forever. Can you discuss the emotional changes? By the way, guys, I skip around when I read comments. I'm not ignoring anybody. The emotional changes that come with recovery, specifically sadness being triggered so easily. I don't care how I feel physically anymore, but weird excessive emotions throwing me off. So when you're in a sensitized nervous system, that basically means a tired nervous system, or you could say a fragile nervous system. And other emotions can come with this, not just necessarily fight or flight. When you're in a tired nervous system and you've got a tired mind and body, you can be easily triggered into all sorts of emotions. That doesn't always happen, but it can happen. And it's because you've got a tired system that is fragile, right? Again, fragile. So yeah, there can be changes. You can experience sadness. Sometimes this happens during the healing process because you feel a lot of fatigue during recovery. Sometimes this happens. You can experience sadness. You can experience being easily annoyed. That's one that I hear about a lot. There's a lot of different emotions you can experience different recovery. It's not abnormal whatsoever. Yeah, it's not abnormal whatsoever, Chris. Learn to actually love anxiety. Yes. Bastionville. Oh, I love it. I don't think I've been here since you started your video production project and put streams on hold. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I've been focusing mostly on videos. What's up, Double? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, just allow those emotions to release so you don't have to attach stories to them, especially negative stories. That's right, Sonata. Wonder, bro, what if I got the word anxiety tattooed on my face? I would question your intelligence. Here, watering my plants. If anxiety shows up, I stop any second fear and slowly shift into the opportunity mindset. That's another good perspective, viewing anxiety being there as an opportunity to retrain so you actually welcome it. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. So that's another non-resistant, non-second fear perspective. See, there's a lot of different perspectives. We call it the accepting inner voice. I've been using the term perspective recently to try to just make it make more sense to people, right? Because a lot of people come in and they hear second fear and maybe they're not familiar with Dr. Claire Weeks. So I've been saying perspective recently, but it's the same thing. Having a better perspective means dropping second fear, essentially. Kate is like a refreshing breeze, cool, mysterious, and sneaky. There you go. I love it, Sky. So poetic. You've been putting in the work, just a little more time. Be patient with yourself. Absolutely, you must be patient with yourself. This is not something that just happens overnight. Changing your perspective when your perspective has been one of second fear for so long is not something that's going to happen in an instant. So you gotta have a little bit of patience with yourself, right? You gotta have a little bit of patience with yourself. I'm here, yay. We're happy to have you, Sky. Happy to have you. I'm trying to just tell myself that I actually love the anxiety and tell myself that I want more anxiety too. Yeah, I mean, again, there's just so many different perspectives that you can adopt with anxiety. And really, I don't care which one speaks the most to you, which one you resonate with the most. As long as it gets you out of negative second fear perspective, I don't care, right? You can get creative with it. There's nothing wrong with that. You can put your own spin on it. It doesn't matter to me, as long as we accomplish that goal of getting you out of negative second fear sort of perspective. It doesn't matter. It technically doesn't matter, right? I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had people use all sorts of different perspectives. All sorts of different perspectives. I try to cover them all, right, in my videos and streams and stuff. But there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there. And it really doesn't matter. As long as it gets you to a place of non-second fear, it does not matter. But how have you been doing, Anarchy? How have you been doing with that practice? It's been a minute since I've seen you. Man, last night it was cold, extremely, extremely cold. And now today I'm like sweating a little bit. I wish it would make up its mind. The negative automatically comes. Yes, it does. You're not wrong. But that is where you have to catch yourself and work on it. You are not wrong. You are not wrong in saying that. But that doesn't get you out of the practice. Right? 2.5 years down the line from breakpoint moment, I can definitely resonate and understand everything Wonderbro says. Once you can see the overview, the cause, the way out, it becomes easier. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been an anxious worrier as long as I can remember. Up until this year, I was getting better, but still struggling a lot. Then I did therapy that basically taught the 2 keys, and finally practicing dropping the worry and rumination and analyzing. Just not doing that is all it took for me to start functioning and enjoying life again. Yes. Catching yourself doing that, adopting a better attitude, a better perspective, and moving on. Would CM Punk care about this? There you go. Whatever works for you. I'm getting just a bit better with my anxiety, but it's really hard to deal with my intrusive thoughts. Well, you're not necessarily Dealing with them would be like you're getting up there and doing something about them. You're really just seeing them for what they are and not adding the worry, not adding the obsession, and saying, hey, my brain is allowed to throw me those thoughts. I don't have to attach to them. That's the accepting perspective. That's an example of the accepting inner voice, the accepting perspective. I noticed today after drinking alcohol, anxiety emotions are much worse. Yes. Can it be a sign of progress when you start to not feel as bad the day after drinking? I'm sure it could. I never drank during my recovery, so I can't really give you any personal insight on that. I'm sure if you're feeling better after days of drinking where you used to feel bad, because that is a thing, hangovers with anxiety are like double the hangover for a person who's not in a sensitized system. That is a real physical thing. Um, so if you're handling those days better, I'd say it's a sign that you've at least adopted a much more accepting attitude than you used to have. I could see it. I could see it being a sign of progress in that way. Definitely catching myself mentally repeating the same crap has been really beneficial. Absolutely. Absolutely, Sky. Really been doing better with it. With the anxiety comes, I just acknowledge that it's there and just make it into a joke. Also just tell myself that I want more of the feeling, and it's taken the edge off a lot. I love it. So there you go. It's more of the aggressive approach. Hey, give me more. I'm not scared of you. So it's more of the aggressive, but yet still very much accepting perspective, right? See, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what perspective you guys want to adopt, as long as you are using it, right? As long as you're using it and it's getting you out of that second fear, that's all that really matters. I feel like I shouldn't avoid drinking strictly because of the fear of anxiety. Well, here's the problem with that. I'm never one, you guys know me, I'm never one to tell people to avoid something out of fear of anxiety. Like I would never tell anyone to do that. But when it comes to drinking, it does take a physical toll on your nervous system. So it's like it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a little bit different than telling someone don't do this harmless thing because you're afraid of anxiety. It's a little different when it comes to the whole alcohol question, because I see both sides of the field. I see people say, well, I don't want to avoid it out of fear of anxiety, but then there's also a lot of truth to the fact that drinking affects your nervous system on a real physical level. Doesn't matter how much second fear or non-second fear you add, drinking fucks your nerves up, right? The next day. So it's almost like, I don't know, man, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, you can drink, just don't add second fear the following day, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. But I wouldn't recommend that people continue drinking to face their anxiety, because you're actually ingesting something that does have a effect on your nervous system on a physical level. So it's like, I can't recommend to stop and I can't recommend to keep drinking. I really can't say either way. It's going to be up to the person, right? It's a tricky one when it comes to the whole drinking thing. It's a tricky one. All right, guys, give me just a second. We'll be right back and we'll continue the hangout portion of this stream. So give me just a second. All right. Oh man, what is going on? Okay, there we go. We're back in focus. That was interesting. Um, we got Maddie in here. Maddie, what's up, Maddie? What is up? My new mantra is shit happens, then I simply move on. There you go. TK says, what a bro, how do the intrusive thoughts / anxiety symptoms feel like now that used to bother you, and how do you deal with your old fearful thoughts when they come up? I don't experience sensitized symptoms. So once you desensitize a sensitized nervous system, I want you to understand you can go back to feeling pretty solid, right? You can go back to feeling quote unquote normal. You'll still be a human being. You'll have days where you have certain unpleasant emotions. You'll have days where you have certain negative thoughts pop in your head. Like that'll happen for the rest of your life. That's just part of being human. I think sometimes people forget that being a quote unquote healed human is still not the most joyous thing in the world at times, right? I think some people truly believe that being healed means that you are this very joyful all the time, never experiencing anything negative as far as negative emotions or thoughts go. That's simply not true. But you will get to a point where you don't experience living in a sensitized nervous system. So I don't really deal with sensitized anxiety symptoms, right? Now, as far as thoughts are concerned, you'll always deal with thoughts. Thoughts will pop up from time to time, and yeah, I've got negative thoughts that pop up from time to time. I don't get the same negative thoughts that I used to get when I was sensitized, but they are negative thoughts that revolve around the real world and stuff like that. I treat it the same as I treated the intrusive thoughts back when I was going through my journey. I don't fight with them. I don't argue with them. Just brush it off. Notice it, and like Mint said in the chat earlier, don't add the worry or obsession. Like some of mine, for example, were going crazy. I never get thoughts about going crazy. Going crazy, losing my mind. I had a lot of themes revolving around insanity. I actually enjoy sitting down and watching documentaries on like insane asylums, like true crime documentaries. It doesn't bother me. So the old stuff or the stuff that currently bothers you in the sensitized state, there's a good chance that fast forward, it's not going to bother you at all. It's not going to bother you at all. Doesn't mean you won't have a negative thought from time to time. But yeah, you shouldn't be dealing with these thoughts bothering you anymore as you continue to heal and recover. Surrender and stop fighting the feelings, embrace the burn, and leave your thoughts alone. It really is that simple. Absolutely. It takes a lot of practice, but it is. Yep, it really works well for me, but got to instantly move on and put the finger up. Yes, proverbial finger. Man, I do not drink while sensitized. Don't want to put an unnecessary stress on an already stressed nervous system, but I can't wait for the day to have a drink again. I'm sure it's coming, Sonata. I completely stopped drinking. Alcohol is not good for your nervous system, especially anxious people. Yeah, it's not good for your nervous system. It's not at all. Raven, what's up? Street Fighter, what's up? Daniel, what's up? No drinking. I better clarify I no longer partake in drugs and alcohol. Crappy thoughts are still a little tricky. I'm also drug and alcohol free, Mr. Sky. Yeah, I mean, as far as all that goes, I don't lecture people who do it, and I don't promote it. It's whatever you want to do. I don't even touch it. I don't even touch it. Sure, Wonder Bro's face is somewhere and all that. It's somewhere in the darkness, Donkey. You just have to squint really hard. Drinking isn't good for anything. I mean, the way I feel about drinking, again, I don't even make it a point to touch on that subject, really. But the way I personally feel about just drinking as a whole, not even really talking about anxiety, but just drinking altogether, I don't personally see the fun in it. Maybe that's because I've only ever been around aggressive or negative drunks. Whenever I'm around people who drink, I've never been around anyone who's actually a good time when they drink. So in my mind, it's kind of like, why do you want to feel that way? Or why do you do that to yourself? So, I don't know. That's my opinion on it. Maybe I've only ever met shitty drunks. Head is dizzy and heavy, so someone with health anxiety, I'm being challenged. Tested positive for COVID. Rich, what's up, dude? Happy December. What is up, Rich? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate the support. Thank you. Only vice left is nicotine from my vape, which I will stop at some point. Hey, we all have our vices. Fun drunk over here. How are you doing today, Donkey? All drunks are negative. Well, my husband is a happy drunk, but still can't stand a drunk. Well, that's the other thing, right? Like, I've only had experience with shitty drunks, but even if I was around a happy drunk, I feel like if I was in an annoyed mood, I would really have to use acceptance, or I would want to slap them in the mouth. It's so annoying. It's annoying being the only sober person. By the way, guys, did you know that self-esteem is not something you have in literal terms? It's a product of your recent thinking. It can naturally fluctuate. Yes, the best way to improve self-esteem is to not try to contradict negative thoughts all the time. It is literally to stop ruminating. You don't have to do anything about it. I learned this in therapy, and I experienced it myself. Absolutely, yes. Almost like that's what I tried to tell you 4 years ago. Too many drink to escape the anxiety is the wrong thing to do. Yes. Love hanging out with you youngsters and trying to keep up with you all. Well, we're happy to have you here, Rachel. I've been focusing on responding correctly. I'm not perfect, but I wanted to ask you, how do we deal with negative life situations, for example, family, etc.? How do we not react? It's the same way that you would treat like a real situation. If there's action you can take it. That's the only difference. But if there's not real action that you can take, it's the same practice that you do with anxiety. It's the same practice that you do with anxiety. The situation is there. You don't have to ruminate or obsess over it. You can remind yourself that it's allowed to be. You can adopt a better perspective and go from there with acceptance. So it's the same thing that you would do with anxiety, only it's a real situation. Again, the only difference is if there's real action you can take to remedy the situation, then by all means do that. But it's the same practice. It's the same practice. I still have a few smokes a week and enjoy a few beers. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, I don't care personally what you guys do, right? I never make it a point to say you guys should not drink or you should drink or you should, you know, it's up to you. I thought it would trigger my anxiety. It doesn't. It's all meant to go out and have fun and eat what you want, live life. Thanks, Wonder Bro. Absolutely, Jay. Happy to help. Good, Wonder Bro. How are you? Are you ready for the Christmas season? Yes. Yes. Are you ready, Donkey? Are you ready? Staying busy, or alcohol, drugs, all could be ways to avoid anxious feeling. My drug of choice has been busyness. It's nothing necessarily wrong with busyness as long as you've got a good mental and a good attitude and a good perspective towards the anxiety. If you don't, then busyness, yes, absolutely could just be your way of trying to run away from it. You only feel the need to run away from it if you're not working on your perspective, and that's why it's so important to have that change of perspective there. Thank you for the advice. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Raven. Thank you for being here. Exactly all this you have been telling me all along, Wonder Bro, and approved so much, but I just wouldn't take that leap and actually cut all the crap thinking for real until I got the extra push. Yeah, absolutely. And you know I'm just picking on you, Mint. But yeah, it's all the same stuff at the end of the day, which is thoughts and feelings are there. Have a good accepting attitude towards them, have a good perspective, and move on. Don't add the fight, don't add the second fear. Accept, 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 right? And you can't accept without a better understanding, without a better perspective. So I'm already feeling jolly. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, Donkey. Get into the Christmas spirit. Wonder Bro, does smoking cause more anxiety? Some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. When I was severely sensitized, I still smoke like a chimney, but when I was severely sensitized, I smoked like 2 chimneys. And I thought it was something I had to do. It was my go-to, so to speak. So some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. It again goes to prove to you it's all going to be about what you tell yourself. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, yeah, cigarettes. I knew you were referring to cigarettes. All good, all good. All right, guys, we got about 20 minutes left in this stream. About 20 minutes left in this stream. If you've got any more questions, feel free to keep them rolling. Hey, Wonder Bro. Hey, Maddie. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. Let's see. That lamp goes up a little bit more. I feel like that just gives a weird shadow. It was extremely hard for me to see the sense in all of this at the start, but I'm chilling now. You've made great progress, Sky, since you've been here. Let's see. I'm going to scroll and make sure I didn't miss any questions. See you later, Sky. Thank you for being here. Get a mint while you're at it. At the end of the day, if you avoid cigarettes because of anxiety, you're kind of empowering anxiety. Of course, there's a million reasons why you should quit cigarettes. Yes. There is a million reasons why. The question, what should I give my brother for Christmas or my dad? The men in the family are always so difficult to come up with gifts for. Without knowing them personally, that's a difficult question to answer. I don't know, man. I don't know. What are they into? Should be for your health, not because you're afraid it gives you anxiety. Yes. I get what you're saying, gamer. Trying to get grass on this death island is giving me OCD. Will not accept it. You're gonna be at that for a while, Kate. You're gonna be at that for a while. Gift cards. Yeah, you could always go with gift cards. You can't really go wrong with gifting a gift card. If you need ideas, there you go. Think I'm getting there, then boom, another anxious thought kicks in. Well, don't base getting there on what your mind and body is doing. You gotta base getting there on how well your reaction is to what your mind and body are doing. That's what you gotta base getting there on. Move all the purple. Do you have to go all the layers down, gamer? Expensive stuff. Photography and software stuff. Photography, all I could really think of when you say photography is possibly like a new camera or something. Which is, depending on what they already have, yeah, it's going to be a bit of an expensive gift. Recovery is definitely not linear, but once we start doing all the right stuff, and then if we take a step back and truly look at what we've been through, we will see we need to see what we need to work harder on. Yeah, a little bit of self-reflection can go a long way. Yeah, exactly. Like 40,000, or is that 400,000? Maybe not, but close enough. See you, Crystal. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, I don't understand how those dirt grass blocks work in that biome. I don't get it. You know what Maddie would be really good at? Like Maddie's dream job or whatever. She would be an awesome, what do you call it? Like kidnapper, like hostage taker. What's up, donkey? Here I am. What do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas this year, Wonder Bro? It would just be fantastic if Santa could pay my rent 1 month. That'd be great. I'm to that age. No new video games, nothing fun. Just Santa, if you're listening, if you could just pay my rent 1 month, that would be fucking amazing. You fat bastard. Maddie's perfect job would be to rule the world. Gonna kidnap me? Are you gonna kidnap me, Maddie? As long as you feed me, that's okay. Well, it depends on what you feed me. Actually, I take that back. Yeah, it entirely depends on what you feed me. Yeah, I think Maddie would be pretty good at ruling the world. She'd be decent, pretty decent at it. Portuguese food. I can't say I've ever tried it, so I'm not sure if I'm cool with this yet. I'm not sure if I'm cool with it yet or not. Cupcakes? Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. He'd feed me, love me, make me laugh. I'm down. She said you'd love it. You could end up as a piece of furniture. Be careful what you wish for. Let's see, we got a $6 tip, 633 actually, coming in from Daniel. Thank you so much for the $6 tip on the PayPal, Daniel. I appreciate you. I don't know what your username is in the chat, but if that was you, feel free to drop a little emoji in the chat. Let us know. Thank you so much. Show some purple hearts and love for Daniel, guys. Thank you, thank you. I think I'm saying that right. Let me check. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Daniel. 633. Thank you. I appreciate you. Takes us to 6. Did you see what Elon Musk said a couple of days ago? I did not. I'm sure it was very interesting. Man says a lot of interesting things. What did he say, Donkey? I'm on the server right now. I'm just idling. I should probably leave though, in case you guys want to be able to sleep. Are you decorating my rock yet? I haven't started, but I'm going to. Don't worry. My dog is getting impatient with me. Elon Musk looks like he smells bad. 633 is 10 in Australia. I know it's not much, but a big thank you for everything you do. Hey, thank you for the 633, man. I was like, that's an interesting number. Now I understand why it was 633. Thank you so much for the tip, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Every little bit helps, especially this time of year. So I appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you. Quit. Do not. Do not. Rock decorating. I think Crystal asked me what I was going to get her for her birthday, and I told her a rock, and I think she took me seriously. I think that's what's happening here. Look, he's not going to stop until he gets in here, so I'm just going to accept it at this point. God. There's no sense in trying to fight him off. It's just not going to work. He just bullies you. He's twice the size of Nova, so twice the size of Nova. There's no holding him back. If I try, it's just miserable. During an interview in front of a live audience, he told the president of Disney to go fuck himself. Disney was threatening to pull advertising from X. Yeah, they changed Twitter to X or whatever. Interesting. Well, a man who stands up for himself. Okay. I like it. What's his name? I named him Maddie. The shorts to me are very powerful. Keep them coming. Glad you're enjoying the shorts, Luis. Oh, your bones are poking into me, dude. Thanks, Wonder Bro. Love you. Love your furball. Thanks all. Gotta go. Thank you for being here, Rachel. Appreciate you. Yeah, so this is Maddie right here. And then, oh god, oh, you can't get any closer to me, dude. It's not possible. It's really not possible. You can't get any closer to me than you already are. His name is not Atticus. Yeah, it's Matty Atticus the third. So that's the new puppy. And then over here, hung up on the wall, we got the OG. We got the OG, which I keep this picture right beside my bed here. What's up, Tony? Welcome to the stream. One last look. There you go. No, stop, dude. You're stepping on all the cords. Stop! Fuck me. Let's see his face. You just missed it, man. You just missed it. He was camera hogging for like 10 minutes. You lied straight to my voice. Okay, that one got me a little bit. Yeah, it's Matty Atticus, Jr. the third. How have you been, bro? I've been doing good, Tony. How are you doing? Yeah, he was camera hogging pretty hard there for a second, Donkey. I don't know where he's went now. He became uninterested, and I think he's over there chewing on one of his toys. Straight to my voice. Is Kate just allowing her items and tools and armor to float around after she died? One of those. One of those. I'm doing pretty good, working like crazy. Glad to hear you're doing well, Tony. I got the hiccups. Yeah, he's got several toys. I'm trying to see which one he's working on now. So. Alright, man, I think we're gonna wind this one down here, you guys. I think we're gonna wind this one up right here. We're gonna wind this up right here. Thank you guys, man, so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I love you. I love you. Georgia or Alabama? Who are you going for? Alabama, man. Alabama all the way. I love you. Thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for the excellent questions. Thank you for all the positivity. You are lovely, lovely people, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night. Okay? Okay? And until next time, as always, stay awesome, beautiful people.